Okay. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another one. This is my special guest, Anthony Steele. How you doing today, Mr. Anthony Steele?
I'm doing all right, man.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Thank you for coming on my show. I was gonna ask you a couple questions about how's your wrestling career going so far for you this year.
I mean, took a month off. Gotta just chill back, relax. Getting prepared for the King of Cedar Rapids tournament. Um, gauntlet match next weekend in Cedar Rapids. So that's my main focus. My main focus is going after Felix, the dude that caused me to not be able to compete last
Mhm.
month. Um, and just focusing dead set on that. Getting back in the ring, I've taken that month off has made me feel a certain type of way, and I'm
Mhm.
ready to hop back in the ring.
That's good. That's good, man. I hope I see you winning championship in IMF. I see your matches. You are a good indie wrestler, bro. You are a good wrestler and stuff. And I give you prop, man. You doing this for your best. You working hard. You're doing whatever that you could do for your career.
See, that's the whole thing that I tell everybody is like I don't try to worry about myself right now. It's
Hmm.
more about if this is something someone wants to do, do it, chase it, get it done,
Hmm. Like chase your
and
dream.
exactly, and like you know, I know some of the people that watch your show, um, and there's some of them that can't chase the same dream that I'm chasing because of certain reasons. They know why.
Hmm.
Um, but to put kayfabe aside, like the guys at IMF, they're worth it. They're well worth it, and you know, getting to step in the ring with a lot of those guys that I will next weekend.
Hmm.
Rage, Felix, Johnny Walker, Thomas McEntee, Dexter. Like, there's a lot of young talent in there that is going to electrify
Hmm.
the IMF crowd and IMF in general.
Hmm.
And I really believe getting to step in with some of those guys I've never been able to compete with yet. Um, I get a feel of how far they've come,
Hmm.
and then they also get to feel what I can do. And going into this next Saturday is it's like people don't understand how much time and preparation it takes to put on a match like this,
Hmm.
and it's it's a doozy. Making sure that it goes on smoothly, make sure that the fans continue to interact, and you know, just stay focused. And that's the biggest thing is people need to stay focused and don't gas themselves out. And that's what I see a lot of people do. And I'm not even talking about IMF. I'm talking about in general. A lot of these
Hmm.
guys, they want to do this. They they have the heart for it. I'll give them that. They have the heart, but like what a lot of people don't understand, it's a lot of cardio. It's a lot of fucking cardio, and
Right.
it takes a toll on your body. And this is coming from a dude that smokes and has asthma, and I can do this shit on a monthly basis. Um, like I see a lot of people get gas really quick,
Hmm.
and the match then turns sloppy because when you start to get gas, your breathing becomes harder,
Hmm.
and you got to
You're right.
steady that pace.
Yep.
And when you're working with a guy like Felix Jones, he's quick, he's fast, he's energetic, and like you got to be able to steady your breathing with a guy like him because he's still ready to go after 5-10 minutes, and some people are in there fucking breathing like they got fucking bronchitis, and they can't move.
Yeah.
And it's guys like that that make me feel good about what I've done in this industry and in this company in general. Working with Felix has been an honor. It is probably hands down one of the best opponents I've faced in IMF. Um, you know, with how young he is, he listens, he gives great ideas. I mean, collaborating with him in December was phenomenal. You know, just picking out how we can do things, you know, picking things that haven't been done in IMF yet.
Right.
And it's just like, and the funny thing is I did some things that he didn't think I was capable of doing. And so that led to a lot of people looking at it as like, what the fuck just happened? Like, how is that possible? And that's what a lot of people don't understand is the audience is the biggest factor.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have the attention of the audience, you're going to be asked. Like, your match is going to suck. You can have a great match for yourself, but you if you ain't got the fans, the fans are going to tell you your match was ass.
Mm-hmm. You give some good advice. Like me, when I did backyard wrestling, I had plenty of injuries. I had a concussion. One time I got busted open with a chair right here in my forehead. I was out for a couple months or two, and I was gonna almost retire and stuff. And it's no, your health is more important than this. You don't want to hurt your bones. You don't want to get hurt, break a collarbone or break your arm or break a foot or break an ankle. That's no joke. Because if you break it, your wrestling season is done. Your career is done.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I've broken my hand, my right hand. Had to have surgery on it. I've dislocated. I still wrestle with a dislocated finger right now. Like, I fucking got into a bike accident and fucking flip over my bike and luckily caught my fucking fall and fucked my shit up.
Right.
Like, it's one of those things where, you know, I'm different from a lot of people. I heal a lot faster. I can endure a lot more pain.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things where, you know, you got to know your limits. And some of these guys that I watch, they don't know their limits.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I keep telling everybody, if you're going to wrestle, you need to do three things. You need to know who you are and what you do and what you're capable of. Don't try to do something that you know you can't do, because that leads to an injury to yourself, your opponent, or both. Number two is always collaborate with your opponent and take feedback. Never just go in and be like, oh, this is what we're going to do, and this is how I want to do it. For the simple fact that wrestling's a dance. It takes two to tango. It takes two to fucking wrestle. If you're just one-sided, then you're in this for the wrong reason. And three, not everything's about championships. Not everything is about being at the top. And like, I haven't held a championship since June of last year. And I've put on some of the best matches that has been seen since losing that championship. And that's the thing that a lot of people got to understand. I see a lot of people, a lot of owners of backyard feds that put a title on themselves because they want to be champion. They want to, whether it's they didn't get to be a champion in another company and they thought they deserved it, or they created the company solely to put themselves over.
Right.
Y'all know who you are. You know exactly who I'm talking about. And I don't even have to mention the names. But that's where everyone's got wrestling fucked up. They think about the money, think about the championships, all that. I don't care about the money. I don't care about the championships. I care about putting on the best matches I've ever fucking done and continue to do so.
Right.
And if it's going to be a time where I got to hang up my boots, my sneakers, as I put it, like, I want to be at a point in my life where I'm like, you know, I've done enough, and I think it's time for me to call it quits.
Yeah. I see your matches from IMF. You are a good superstar. You and the IMF rosters are good. I see you guys doing some good matches, and I love it with how y'all doing it. And I really love you guys. Y'all are some real Indians and stuff. You guys do some good matches and stuff.
See, that's the thing. What a lot of people have to understand is IMF came from a backyard company. It was strictly a backyard company that turned indie. And a lot of people want that to happen, but a lot of people don't want to put in the time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the biggest cause of a lot of people staying in the backyard is whether they like, oh, I don't have the money to do it, or I don't want to spend that type of money to do it. Like wrestling is it's time consuming and it takes a lot of money, whether it's gear, whether it's training, whether it's collaboration. Like I'm collaborating with a Grammy nominated rapper to create my new theme song. Like I'm spending my own money to make a personal theme song for myself that I can use anywhere and everywhere I go. Like it's all about putting in that time and that effort, and nothing comes free in this industry.
Right.
You know, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, or financial, it
Mhm.
always costs something. And back to a topic that I said earlier, you know, a lot of these guys in the backyard that put championships on themselves, they look at that as, oh, I made it, I did something. And then I look at them and I'm like, you've done nothing. You've proved nothing.
Right.
You've proved that you can tell someone that they're going to lose to you, and that's about it. The way I look at backyard wrestling nowadays is it's not like it was when I was doing it. I started backyard wrestling in like 2017. So about almost 9 years now. And back then it wasn't about, you know, the owner putting the title on himself. It was about what can you do to prove to me that you deserve this opportunity. And I've got a lot of flack from some companies because of the way that I do business, and it's because I do business the correct way. Business is supposed to be strictly business, and you're supposed to protect your talent. And with certain companies, they either A, wanted to put the title on themselves because they thought that they were better than anybody, or B, they put guys in a ring that couldn't do what they needed to do, whether that was they couldn't wrestle at all and they were unsafe and untrained, or they were intoxicated, or they were under the influence of something that made it to where they couldn't compete at a regular basis level. And that's where the complications come in about me, is I'm one to speak about that. I'm not afraid to tell you how I feel and how I see it, because in this industry, my career means more to me than a company. Like, if I feel like my life is about to be put in danger, I'm going to tell you that. If I feel like someone else I'm really close to's life is about to be put in danger, I'm going to tell you. IMF is the pure definition of a brotherhood, where we come together as a collective unit and we make sure that everyone is taken care of and safe. But at the same time, we don't do something that we know is going to jeopardize another man's career or another man's life in general. And it's sad to see a lot of people going down that road, that they think they know how to do this and that they can do this.
Right.
And I can't stand there and let that happen.
Right.
Like there's some guys that I could call out, Silver Wolf being one of them.
Yeah.
Dude, I've told you everything.
Mhm.
I've told you everything that you can do to better your wrestling skills,
Mhm.
and with what you have done in your life, in your personal life, has created it to where you can't go pro. I'm sorry to say that, but it's the truth. Your
Right.
life decisions reflect everything, and it causes it to make it to where you can't do certain things. But even with backyard wrestling, I've told him everything he needs to do to better his stance, his striking, his abilities. He don't want to listen.
And
Zach,
I give you prop on that. No one he don't want to listen. He don't want to listen and stuff. And I like me, I listen to people who tells me to do this. Like do a grappling, take your time on it. Don't rush on it. Just take your time. Just don't be in a rush. Just focus on your opponent. Seeing what kind of moves are they gonna do to you? What can you do to them and stuff and all that.
see, it's like with backyard wrestling, you got to look at it as picture a crowd and play off to that. You know, what would a crowd want to see? Crowd work is the number one thing in wrestling. Like I said earlier, if you don't got a crowd's attention, you don't got shit in your match. You can
Right.
do a fucking moonsault 450 splash and make it look perfect. But if the crowd is not invested in it, they don't care. If it looks sloppy, if you landed the wrong way, the crowd is not going to care. You know, I'm not telling everyone you have to be 100% perfect. There's a reason why there's called botches.
Mm-hmm.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
But if you don't take the time to actually practice and train on a move, that's the number one thing I see in this industry is
Yeah.
young guys or backyard wrestlers think that they can do a move and then they fuck it up and they either injure themselves or injure their opponents or both.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing about it all is keeping everyone safe. You know, like I said, I could talk about Silver Wolf with his Zach Attack. Prime fucking example of a dude that wants to put a championship on himself because no one will put a championship on him because he doesn't know how to wrestle. I've trained that guy 5 times. 5 times I've personally sat down and trained that man. He still doesn't know what he's doing. Like, it has gotten to the point where how much time can I actually put into something for him to learn what the fuck he needs to do? You know, it's heartbreaking that I have to say that, but at the same time, I'd rather tell the truth and get it
Mm-hmm.
past him and other people than to sugarcoat shit and let that shit continue because
Right.
someone's going to get hurt. I've wrestled Zach multiple times, and in those times, he's done some fucked up shit, and me being the professional I am, I sold it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like there's certain things that you have to know and do. And if you're not doing it correctly, then that fucks up everything.
Right.
So shit like that, man, it's
It,
sloppy. If you're sloppy, you're sloppy. And I
well,
can't argue the fact.
like me, I started from the beginning. I did backyard wrestling. I don't have a ring. I use mats as a wrestling ring. If I come up with a box spring or a bench, I put it under. I started that first. I started becoming a backyard wrestler and stuff, and I when I first joined backyard wrestling, I was kind of not right. I was losing matches, losing it, controlling all of it, hurting people, injuring people, and all that. That was like my type of my character. And I said, no, let's switch it up and let's learn to do the proper way, like a proper lockup, a proper headlock, whatever, run the ropes, take a bump. That's when I took steps after steps. And so, like, Drake Silverwolf, I know he's not a good wrestler, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. You got to start from the big. You got to start fresh. You can't just think in your head, oh, I'm going to be a champ. I'm going to win the match. I'm going to do this. No, you don't do that. You got to focus on your character. Focus on your opponent. Don't focus on you want to win championships and winning belts and running into people's faces and rubbing it into their face. It's not like that. It's not. You gotta do what you gotta do.
And that's the thing is, everyone thinks, oh, because I hold a championship, I mean something. No. The one thing that every wrestler will tell you, the championship doesn't make the wrestler makes the championship. When I held the United States Championship in IMF for 9 months, the longest reign in IMF history, I sat there and I told a story with anyone and everyone that I wrestled with. Whether it was working with Drago, taking his Ulafala, making it to where I'm taking his heritage. He wants something of mine, so I took something of his. Whether it was Jordan Nets, a dude that when IMF was a backyard company, I came in and fought him for my first time there. Omen Black, when I came to IMF the first time, I fought Omen Black to a losing effort. And then I retained the United States Championship against Omen Black. Like, it's all about telling a story and never forgetting where the fuck the story came from. And a lot of people don't know what storytelling is. It's either they don't know or they don't care to show it. They just think getting in there, wrestling is what matters. No. If there's no story behind it, it ain't going to matter. If the crowd don't like it, it ain't going to matter. If another person that is watching it that is a wrestler doesn't understand what the fuck's going on, it's not going to matter. And that's the biggest thing about these guys is these guys, like I said, they just think because they have a company, because they have a championship, they mean something to this industry. And they don't. It's sad to say, but it's the truth. They don't mean shit to this. They need to take the proper steps. I went to a training facility when I was still doing backyard wrestling, was going to start training. I lived in a house full of professional wrestlers, was training at home with them. Found out some shit, stopped, went to Memphis, started training with indie guys down there while competing on the indie scene. Won an independent championship.
Nice.
Came back to Illinois, joined IMF, and I have worked with indie wrestlers. I've worked with Rory Fox, a dude that has been on WWE television multiple times. He has worked with Umaga. He has worked with Matt Cardona. He has worked with John Moxley. He's worked with a lot of well-known wrestlers that all of us watch on television. I got to step in the ring with him. And the best thing about it is I asked for his opinion. After the match, we all sat down and we talked. Me, Felix, Rory talked about what we could do better, what went well, and how the match in general went. People need to start asking questions. They need to get feedback. Feedback is the best thing in this industry. That's what makes you better. If you can't take feedback, if you can't take constructive criticism, you're not going to get to where you need to be. And it sucks to say that. But that's the truth.
Yeah, it's just you're right. It's just hard out here for people like me. Like, I know I'm not an indie wrestler yet, but I do want to be an indie wrestler sometime down the line or sometime in the future. I want to be out there and put my name out there to any indie promotion or any company out there to get me up there on the top to be a good wrestler, a good backyard wrestler, or a good indie wrestler, train with some indie wrestlers or backyard wrestlers, train them and teach me new stuff every time or once in a while and all that.
Where are you located?
I am located in Racine, Wisconsin.
If you can find a way to go to IMF, IMF has no problem training anybody. We have a lot of pros there. We have guys like me. We have guys like Gabe Sayers. Felix can train you. Omen. Like, there's a bunch of people that don't mind putting in the time and effort to train someone. You just have to be willing to take it. And that's what I tell anybody. As long as you don't have a fucked up background, and for the people that are listening that knows what I'm talking about, you know who you are, and you know what I mean by that. You have to be willing to take constructive criticism and put your body through a lot of pain. Wrestling hurts. It sucks. My body is not 100% on a monthly basis. I walk into matches sometimes injured.
And I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I really want to come to IMF to train with you, train with Soldier GP, train with the roster members of IMF. I really want that in my goal. That is one thing in my goal, that I want to go to IMF and have fun with you guys and train with you guys and learn different moves or different topics in an indie company or a backyard wrestling company. And I really want that. I really want more. I need more training. I know I'm down in Racine, and I know I do training on mats. I don't have a ring. Hey, it is what it is. I'm trying my best. I'm trying to slowly come up there and stuff. And everybody wants to downgrade me, saying, Austin, you can't do this. You can't do that. It doesn't matter. I'm doing this for me, for my career. I want to be an indie wrestler at one time. I want to be out there with millions of fans watching me and having fans watch and stuff and show them what kind of training can I do and teach some people new stuff, or they teach me some stuff and I can learn in my mind and stuff.
That's the thing. You know, if you want to do it, do it. That you don't even have to come to IMF. Wisconsin is a really big wrestling state. Find a company there that will train you. Put the time, put the money, put the dedication in. And that's what I tell everybody. But to answer a question from C2K, what's my future in IMF? If you're talking about what I'm looking forward to doing.
Yeah, my bad. I was going to ask that.
No, you're good. What am I looking forward to doing? Looking forward to winning the King of CR and going on to Rage in a Cage to fight and win the IMF World Heavyweight Championship.
We know that you teamed up a while back with Omen when you guys have your whole team called the House of Blacks. What happened to that team? Why did you guys break up that team? Or went you guys in separate ways? Like what happened to that team?
What happened between me and Omen? I saw the way that it was going. Omen wanted full control of me and everybody else. And it just got to the point where I saw straight through it. And he wound up losing technically the World Heavyweight Championship.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted my opportunity that I rightfully earned. And I wasn't going for it. I fought a match earlier that night in June, defending the IMF United States Championship, retained the IMF United States Championship, walked into the Rumble as the United States Championship, got cashed in on, lost my title, and then still continued to win the entire Rumble that night. And no one else in IMF can say that they've done that. I won a match, lost. I retained the title, lost the same title in the same night, and then won a opportunity at the World Heavyweight Championship, all in the same night. There's nothing better than do that. And so it was time for me to go. Oman gave me the pluck. He plucked me out of the house, and I went on to try to destroy anything and everything that I could about the House of Wolves. Whether it was taking out Oman himself, whether it was taking out Jordan Netz, Jason Myers, and now Felix. That's the thing. What everyone has to understand is, in this industry, you always got to watch your back. No matter who's coming for you or who you're going after.
I have another comment for you. It's from C2K. He wants to know what is next for you, and what is next for you?
Like I said, next weekend at IMF at King of Cedar Rapids. I'm going to walk in that gauntlet match, and I'm going to crown myself the King of CR and go on to fight for the World Heavyweight Championship. It is time for Anthony Steele to become the IMF World Heavyweight Champion. And anyone that gets in my way, they'll figure out why they call me the real deal.
All right, I have to end my show right here. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Anthony Steele. Hopefully you win at IMF, King of thing. Hopefully you win. Have a great night. Thank you for coming on my show. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Austin Tyler, and I will see y'all next time. Thank y'all for coming.